This is Chapter 3, Role as a Consumer, Discussion Number 2, Decision Making and Advertising. So while you think that economics is all about money, economics is about using scarce resources, and the most scarce resource that all humanity has to put up with is one of time. So when you start making your decisions of what you are going to buy and what you are not going to buy, the amount of time you spend in researching the topics is what you need to be paying attention to as paying for another resource. Even if you're standing at Sheetz and looking to figure out which candy bar you want to buy, that is still time spent in researching of what's going to best satisfy your particular want and desire for your next candy bar. So when we make decisions, we are taking a look at an opportunity cost. If you choose a more expensive item, opportunity cost is measured by the difference in the actual money amount. If you choose the less expensive item, then generally you're losing features or quality or name recognition, and that's considered to be the opportunity cost. But regardless of what you actually end up choosing, the decision is an actual rational choice that economists can attach numbers to based on the idea of utility. But different people will make different choices based on what best satisfies their particular wants and needs. So how do you do the research? Well, generally sitting at Sheetz and getting a candy bar does not require a lot of research, but buying a computer or buying a house does require a lot of research. And how do we gather information? Well, first of all, you have to realize that since you live in an economic market system, is that you have already learned a lot of how you make decisions, and it doesn't cause you a lot of consternation. One thing that has been commented on as we take a look at former communist countries, for example, Eastern Germany or all of East Europe, is that when they start having choices, they don't know what to do with it because they haven't had that exposure to various different types of brands and having to make a decision based on some of the qualities that we've already mentioned. But you've already learned how to shop, you've learned how to compare value, and you've learned what you value. You also know how to comparison shop. You talk to your friends. What do they like? What does not work? You look at features. What kind of things do you really need? Do you really need a souped up stereo for your car? Some of you are nodding your head yes. Some of you are saying no, I'd rather have heated seats in a car that starts in the winter so it'll be warmed up by the time you get to it when it's time to go to school. So those are things that you know to look for when you're talking about features. Also, warranty. Does it really matter to you if you have brand name or if it's a generic name? Sometimes that's about prestige. Sometimes that's about do you trust their quality? But again, these are all things that you know to check out. Companies are more than glad to help you complete the research by presenting you with advertising. We in the economic world, we do classify the advertising as what is the difference between, say, competitive advertising, which is directed at getting consumers, keeping consumers, saying we're better than they are. And then there's also what we call informational advertising, which is all about saying what products the company offers, what features the products offer, and all those features ideas that you might be looking for when you're doing your research. Another idea of advertising that is actually considered somewhat illegal is the idea of the bait and switch. And this is where the company will advertise a product at an extremely low price or lots of features, and then when you get there and say, hey, I want the product you advertised, and they'll go, oh, we're out. Or they'll say, hey, that's a nice product, but we've got a product over here that's a lot better, and that you will want to spend the more money on. And when it's intentional to badmouth a product once you've advertised it and trying to make extra cash off of consumer is considered unethical, and in some areas it's actually considered illegal, especially if it's a change in price versus of what was advertised versus what's actually offered in the store. This concludes discussion number 2, decision making and advertising.